Nioh 3 has the graphics of an old PS2 game, but a soul of a Game of the Year contender. I know in recent times a game has to be really gosh darn beautiful to win Game of the Year, but I feel in gaming you do not necessarily need fantastic graphics to have a excellent game. I feel we really gotten away from the gameplay. We've really focused on auxiliary factors nowadays like story, and for you to spend 80 hours into a game, you're gonna need to be playing something that really activates your mind. Something that activates that feeling of accomplishment when completing your favorite game, or that feeling of dread when you finish something that you really, really enjoy. The difference between a movie and a video game is you spend 3 hours at a movie max. You could spend up to 1,000 hours in a video game over years and years of your lifetime over multiple playthroughs. That game has to be sharp gameplay wise for someone to do that. If it was just story, you're looking at a 20-hour experience, a 10-hour experience at max. But look at games like Call of Duty, 2K, where they make the same game every year because it's timeless and they resell it back to us over and over again. Now, a lot of us may disagree how they repackage the same game over and over again, but the fact remains that we keep playing games that are similar to each other. And Team Ninja continues this tradition by Wolong, Rise of Ronin, Nioh, those games in quick succession of each other that have very similar systems but are just different enough for you to enjoy the experience again. Now, when you employ this strategy, you have to remember that these are gamers' favorite games. So when you tweak it in certain aspects, they will know exactly. They will know the game better than the developers themselves. Because nowadays, a lot of these gaming companies are getting rid of the people who worked on the original game. So the people who stayed with it from, let's say, from Nioh 1 to where they're at now in Nioh 3, the people who played those string of games may know the game more than someone who just started working on it at Team Ninja. And I say this as someone who's played Nioh 2 to Nioh 3. You can see where they have made an honest effort to make changes and improvements into the game that gamers may enjoy, and making the Nioh style more accessible to a larger audience without losing the people that loved the game in the first place. I love Nioh 2. I love Nioh 3. That's why I say it has the heart of the game of the year, and that's why a lot of people want to put it there sometimes. But it does have physical limitations that Team Ninja have used over the years to really hold it back from that type of glamour. Not only are the graphics aren't the best, they look the same every single time. You can tell they put very little or zero development time into making this game look, well, beautiful. Now, the visual art direction in certain set pieces of the map look absolutely awesome. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, frankly, I only spend 2 or 3 seconds looking out into the mountains and going, wow, that's a nice view. Speaking of view, Nioh 3 will have you viewing the map an exorbitant amount of times. And for their map to be so awful looking in the top right corner of the screen, not giving you much information on levels of the map, up, down, or middle, it can be very extremely annoying to go to point of interest to point of interest, getting your characters up. It did not affect my gameplay at all, and this is really only in extreme circumstances, because if you're playing a game in a 4-hour block, for example, maybe you got a day off and nobody is around, you that really isn't going to be the issue. Really, if you play this game in 1 hour blocks, which I feel like it's greatly designed for, it is a greatly paced open world game, because nothing takes that much time. A boss doesn't take that much time. A point of interest doesn't take that much time. It is a huge boon for this game. Because in the previous Nioh titles, you did not get that dopamine hit of small accomplishments like you do in this game. Also, you did not get the choice of, I'm going to do all this other stuff before doing the main mission until a little bit later into the story. They drop you right in the middle of Japan, where you have assistance with every single boss, just like before. So you really never really stuck. Someone will come and help you in this game, and that is a big thing I want to talk about is that the community will beat bosses for you straight up, no questions asked, and not every Souls-like has that. So the real strength of these Souls-like games is the community. And Nioh's community is amazing. It has a lot of good build channels, and more importantly, it has people playing it constantly throughout the time period. I give you a good example. They say the season pass is coming later next year, right? Well, later this year. You have to acknowledge the fact that people are going to be playing this game continuously, doing the crucibles up until that release date later this year. So the game never feels dead. I can sit here and geek about the fighting styles in the game, but I want to talk about the simplicity of them that allows me, as someone who isn't that good at fighting games, been playing them my whole life, but just not that good at them, a chance to feel absolutely awesome. Not button mashing, but doing specific moves when the time arrived for it in the game and being rewarded for it greatly. That is awesome. Also, the plethora of soul core options and Amio magic options that allows you to buff your character to heights that are amazing. Even with the mistranslations or miswritings in the game, it can be very awesome. One of those miswritings was the Carnage Talisman that really affects everything that you do, increases the damage on everything, but it only says melee inside the in-game text. I have to mention those little typos in the game because it really helps. You will start to misunderstand certain things inside the game that can help you overall and make it easier. Speaking of making the game easier, it really customizes your experience, giving you 3 different ways to really get out of the heck out of dodge of your enemy's attack. Dodge, which is my preferred because it's the easiest. Deflect, that you only can do in samurai style. And finally, parry, which is really situational to the weapon you are using and actually only works in certain weapons. So a good bit of reading is advised to get the most out of your weapon. And most importantly, the videos inside the game that I can see each and everything by pressing the touchpad on PlayStation and see what I'm gonna do with the character, how it looks like when it happens, is a great boon for this game. As a loot head, Nioh brings the pain with that too, because sets are back into the game and you can customize your character and do very small tweaks that you swear it doesn't do anything, but as soon as you take off that piece of armor that been giving you the dodge key consumption decrease, you realize how unathletic your ninja is without certain magical gear he puts on. It's hilarious to think about. However, with these millions of choices, it's inevitable that a lot of these are absolutely garbage and do nothing for your character's playstyle, or better yet, serve no general purpose for you in combat at all. So there is always a downside to having a plethora of choices. The quality of choices is naturally going to decrease. So if you're really into looking at every single stat, you're going to be going through piles of absolute garbage. Luckily, Nioh gives you a plethora of filtering options, one of them not being the searching by set option, which gives you bonuses based on how many pieces of gear of the set you have on. It's very strange to me. To finish off the video here, I really want to talk about the crescendos of each of the acts, which is the final run you take towards the boss, the main big bad of that act, and it was absolutely amazing. The adrenaline rush is amazing. I love it so much that I go to other people's worlds just to beat their boss as well. And dude, it is, they nail it. That at its heart, Nioh 3 is a combat game that makes you fight a lot. And that's good because the big strength of this game is fighting. So boom, thumbs up right there. So in conclusion, this game is amazing. I feel like it should get some Game of the Year honors in some capacity, maybe not the big overall category, but it's very well made. And it really drives home the point of, even if something is ugly, maybe it's the inside that counts. Thank you for watching my video, and you have a fantastic rest of your day.